As the man on the date, you should be the one leading the conversation. You should be the one making the effort to carry that conversation forward and in the direction that you want it to go. Because inevitably, you're going to want to turn that conversation sexual. Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating. Today, we're dropping the 6th video on our series on how to run a date the correct way to get the results that you want. So today, in this particular video, we're going to be talking about topics that you can talk about when you're on said date. All right, we're going to hop into it right now. Let's go. Tip number 1, have you ever been on a date or talking to a girl at a club or a bar or anywhere else, right? And basically what it turns into is, it turns into a job interview. What do you do for work? I do this. What do you do for work? I do this. You know, and it's so on and so forth. Where do you live? This is where I live. Where do you live? This is where I live. You know, and it's just the most boring questions and conversation that you can possibly have, right? So instead of asking those questions, make statements. Make statements about her that is just going to bring out naturally conversation. For example, you could say something to the effect of, you know what, you strike me as a girl that might be into horror movies. I'm right about that, aren't I? And she's going to say yes or no. I mean, try to, make a statement about something that is pretty obvious, but nonetheless, even if you're wrong, it really doesn't matter, because now she's going to be like, oh, are you into horror movies? You could be like, yeah, a little bit. I like the classic ones, the Freddy movies, Friday the 13th. I like the old school ones. And, I just always kind of thought they're so campy that it makes it hilarious. And so, I don't know, I just kind of gravitate towards those. But the new ones, I really can't get down with those. You see what I'm saying? Just start a natural conversation about whatever it is. So if you make statements, it keeps you away from falling into the trap of an interview. All right, we're going to hop into tip number 2. Let's go. Tip number 2, games. All right, so this is what I try to do whenever I'm on a date with a girl. All right, I like to try to make it loose, fun, energetic, just, build rapport, things like that. I hate the aspect of like, let's get to know each other. I feel like one of the ways to get to know each other is just have an adventure, have a good time together, right? And that way you get to know each other a little bit, just simply through that and just basic general conversation. But one of the ways to do that is by having games. A couple of games that I like to play when I'm with a girl is Fuck, Marry, Kill. If you don't understand or know what that game is, I'll just break it down quickly. So you're picking out 3 people in the bar or wherever you're at, right? You got to fuck one, you got to marry one, and you got to kill one. And so, she's going to pick out 3 people or 3 girls for you. You're going to pick out 3 guys, maybe mix a girl in there just for kicks, kind of start test for, some other things. But nonetheless, you're having a good time. You're having fun. And what ends up happening is I call it an us against the world conspiracy. So here's the world, here's us inside this world together, just battling it out, the whole world, So that's one of the games that I like to play. Another game is just make like a dumb little bet. Make a bet about like, hey, you see that couple over there? Do you think they're on a first date, or do you think they've been in a relationship a long time? Oh, I think they're on a first date. Well, I think they've been in a relationship for a long time. All right, cool. I'm going to go find out. So I'll get up and I'll go talk to that other couple and get the specifics, And it just makes for fun, entertaining, and it's stuff that no other guys are doing, I promise you, especially on a first date, So that's a couple of examples of playing games, right? So we're going to hop into tip number 3. Let's go. Tip number 3, conversational threads. So the thing is that, as you're having conversation, getting to know each other a little bit better by making statements, like I said in the first tip, and you're just gradually, organically getting to know each other a little bit. One of the ways to keep that conversation rolling and for it to be organic is what I like to call conversational threads. So, for instance, you make a statement, you say something to the effect of, you know what, you strike me as the kind of girl that's very intuitive. Or you strike me as the kind of girl that, is very generous with her friends. That's true, isn't it? And if she's like, yeah, you know what, it is true. This one time, I was with my friend, we were in California, and we were at her job, and this homeless guy walked up, and, we just kind of pooled some money together, and we gave it to this homeless guy. What that little story tells me is she's got a friend in California, the girl that I'm on the date with was in California, her friend had a job, they were out doing things, so now I have 4 things I can talk about. Oh, that's super dope. California's fresh, man. I love going to Southern California. I might go into a little story myself. Not to one-upper, this one time I was in California and I fought off a biker gang. No, I'm not trying to one-up her story. All I'm trying to do is contribute to the conversation, and I'm pulling things out of what she says, and I can take it wherever it is that I want to go. As the man on the date, you should be the one leading the conversation. You should be the one making the effort to carry that conversation forward and in the direction that you want it to go. Because inevitably, you're going to want to turn that conversation sexual. All right? So, that being said, it's up for you to make it go that way at a certain point in time. All right, we're going to get into tip number 4. Let's get it. Tip number 4, routines. All right, routines are something I guess that's a little bit controversial, inside of the community and everything. But just because you say something a bunch of times and you call it a routine doesn't mean that you're trying to, or you're not trying to get information or trying to be manipulative or anything like that. It's just something that that works. Just like if you go to a psychiatrist's office, you're sitting in front of the psychiatrist, that psychiatrist is going to use tools to get you to open up, to share with them so they can diagnose the problem. This is no different than that. You're sitting with this girl, you're going to use tools to get her to open up so you can get to know each other a little bit better, right? So one of the routines that I really like, and we talked about it in my NLP video that we did a little while back. If you're interested in that, you can go back and check that out. There's a lot of dope information there too. But the NLP video, we talked about a routine called eliciting values. All right. So what we want to do is we want to ask 3 questions to get her to tell you what her ultimate value in life is. If there was one thing that made life worth living to you, what would that thing be? Now, she could say anything, right? Could be, we'll just go with family. Oh, my family. That's what makes life worth living to me. Great. Okay, so imagine your family dynamic in the perfect situation, right? Maybe it's Christmas morning, and everybody's up, everyone's got their pajamas and robes on, mom's cooking breakfast, so you got the smell of lofting out of the kitchen, everyone's sitting around the Christmas tree in anticipation of opening gifts, and it's just great. You just have an overwhelming sense of just family, like this is just awesome. This is what it's all about. What would be the feeling that you would get in that situation? She might say something like contentment. That's your ultimate value. That's her ultimate value, is contentment. So what I'll tell her is, well, if that's your ultimate value, now that you know that, anytime that you have to make a decision in life, whether it's about a guy, whether it's about a job, moving to a new place, whatever it might be, contentment being your higher value, that's the direction in which you should move, because that's what makes the most sense for you. So whatever brings you closer to that feeling of contentment inside, that's probably the right decision you should make. See, that's a really good routine to do on a date because it instantly makes people feel like they've known you. You ever had that situation where somebody's so charismatic that you're like, man, I feel like I've known that person forever, and it's only been 20 minutes? That's how it's done, all right? Hey guys, want to thank you guys for watching this video. We drop videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But on Fridays, we drop a video for our dating series, how to run a date the right way to get the results that you want. So make sure that you check for that every Friday. If you're getting value out of this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. We want to make sure that these videos get to you as easily as possible because we don't want you to miss anything. So don't blame me if you didn't watch a video and your date was super whack, she threw a drink in your face and got up and walked out. And then you see my video and you're like, why didn't I know? Now you know. You can never say that you were never told. All right, guys. Dale Valor for Modern Valor Dating. We'll see you in the next one. Salute.